Hi, this is Gallery 66 and this is Cut and Assemblages with Polly King, and this is her work. This is April of 2013. And Polly, can you tell us a little bit about your paintings right behind you?
Well, this is the basic part of this. The ground is ink, which I poured onto the paper, and then I let it puddle, so it made all these muted parts, and then it dried, and I started using collage in it too. And this is from a wall that I photographed in Jordan, and this is from a paper bag that I got in Istanbul. So I'm pretty intuitive when I work. It's a lot about drawing and about the materials. And
I see you have a lot of red to bring out
I brought in the red because it felt like it was the color was a little bit dull. I didn't feel like it was standing on its own. So I drew in just some red with watercolor crayon, which is a crayon that you can use and you can make a wash out of it, but I just used it as a line.
So it's an international painting.
It's an international painting. And this one doesn't have the flash, but this has flash, the black and this white over it. It's called flash paint. And it's a water-based paint which is really high in pigment. So you can make it a wash and it's a very sort of vibrant color. Or you can just take it out of the jar and use it, and it just covers very, very well. And it dries very matte, which I like. It's very much like the way wash
It's very soft.
Yeah. It has a very soft surface too. And this is from a carnival that I went to about 7 years ago in Long Island, and I printed out that photograph.
And they look like some kind of movement, and I noticed that you call them tap dance.
Yes, a lot of these started from a drawing that I did, and I just started the collage that way, and then I took them off in their own direction. But this one's called Tap Dance Gray, and they're little birds. I don't know if you can see them there, but that's from paper that I found in Turkey too, and then I had it printed out. And I just go in and draw into them, but they just reminded me of figures tap dancing, so I named them. That's how I named them. And this one, I don't know if you can see it there, but this is from photographs I took in Istanbul too, and there are figures in here which you don't really see when you're back. You only can see them when you're up close. And this is the flash paint there.
And then I'm just gonna.
This is called Heaven Sent. I'm not really sure why, but it is. And this is also flash paint and collage here. And I think there's some charcoal in there too, some charcoal drawing I did. There's a lot of underpainting on this one.
So if we come, you can really see the flash if we come to your paintings over here.
You can, particularly here. This is I can't remember the name. I think that's called cobalt blue in the flash. And they just have the most intense blues in them. And then there's a little bit of collage here. This is ink underneath with flash on top. And this is watered down flash. This is when it's washy. It becomes a lot like watercolor, but it has more pigment than watercolor.
Yeah, that one reminds me of flowers.
Up there.
Yeah. And is there anything that you'd like people to take away or think about when they look at your work?
I feel like they're sort of straddling this line. I want them to be on both sides of the line. There's sort of recognizable things in them, but they're abstract too. There's representational things. You can find them in there, but they're not primarily representational.
Okay, well, thank you. And this is
Thanks.
Polly King for her April exhibit of Cuts and Assemblages at Gallery 66 NY in Cold Spring, New York.